This is the second logic game from Section 1 of PrepTest 59, which was administered in December of 2009. So let's go ahead and take a look at the stimulus. It says that a museum curator is rating 7 photographs, FGH, IK, L, and M, on a gallery wall in accordance with the photographer's requirements. The photographs are to be hung along the wall in a row, in 7 positions sequentially numbered from 1st to 7th. The photographer's requirements are as follows. Okay, so we know that we have these elements. We have FGH, IK, L, and M. IK, L, and M. And our question tells us that they're going to be hung in a row. So if you can visualize 7 photographs hung in a row, numbered 1 through 7, we basically know this is going to be a sequencing game. Okay, so what are our rules? Our first rule. G must be immediately before K. So we have G, it must be immediately before K, and this is a block. How about the second rule? Second rule, H must be before K. So H must be before K, but cannot be the first photograph. So there must be something in front of it. Okay. How about a third rule? I and L must be right next to each other. So I and L, in some order, must be next to each other. Rule number 4, M is either 1, 2, or 3. Rule number 5, F is 1 or 7. Okay. So first things first, we can make deductions. The first deduction that we can make is that these two rules are clearly combinable, in that this K is the same as this K. So if H has to be before K, then H must be before this GK block. And H still can't go first. So something like this. H before K, G and K must always be in this order and together. Okay. This doesn't have anything in common with anything up here, leaving rules 4 and 5. So now when I see rules like rules 4 and 5, where they limit the spaces that certain things can go, what that immediately tells me is that, well, if there aren't too many possibilities, we should see if we can create an exhaustive list of all of the possibilities, all the different worlds that our game could entail. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's start with rule 4. So in this situation, let's say M is 1. If M is 1, then F has to be 7. Right? There's no other way for that to work if M is 1. So that's our only possibility there. What if M is 2? Well, if M is 2, F could still be 1 or 7, so we need to reflect both of those possibilities. So if M is 2, F can either be 1 or 7. And how about if M is 3? M is 3, then F can still be 1 or 7, so again, we must account for both of those possibilities. So there are 5 possibilities here. So that's already plenty of information. But we can do even better, because what else do we know? Now we can sort of combine our rules 1, 2, and 3 with our rules 4 and 5 and see if we can come to some kind of better understanding of what's going on. So here, it looks like we have H before one block of 2, and then we have to find a way to fit another block of 2 somewhere in there. Okay, so can we do that in all of these instances? Well, here, how about if we put H here, it's not going to be first, and then we have a room for a block of 2 and another block of 2. So this one's okay. How about here? If we put H here, block of 2, so this one's at least theoretically possible as well. How about here? Well here, H can't be first, so this is the earliest place that H can go. If we put H here, there's no way for us to accommodate 2 blocks of 2. Or put another way, in this possibility, what are the places that we can put 2 blocks of 2? Well, if you think about it for a second, you know it's got to be here and here, which means that H must go here, and we know that can't happen. So this possibility is actually not a possibility at all, and we can get rid of it. How about this possibility? Well, if we put H here, H isn't first, and then we have blocks for 2 and 2. And how about this one down here? We have a 2, and then we can put an H before it. So these are our 4 possibilities. Let's go ahead and number them 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's move these closer to these. And since this is just the expression of rules 4 and 5, we can do this. This becomes our new rules 4 and 5. So this is actually a comprehensive list of all the ways that this game could work. Alright. Any more inferences that we can draw? Well, yeah, I think so. First of all, well, in scenario number 1, H can go anywhere as long as it's before GK. So H can go a lot of places, GK can go a lot of places, IL can go a lot of places. So nothing to be gained here. Similar for this. There's a lot of ways that we can arrange this group of 2 along with this sort of order of 3. So nothing much to be gained from here. But how about in number 3? Well, in number 3, we know that the only places that we can put 2 blocks of 2 is here and here. Which means what? Which means H must be here in our third scenario. I'll actually write that in blue to indicate that it's a deduction that we made. And how about down here? Down here, the only places that we can support blocks of 2 are here and here. And here somewhere. Well, we know that H can't be first, so H can't be here. So the earliest it can go is here, but the earliest place that it could actually go is here in the 4th slot. Because that's the only way that we can accommodate this. So here, if we put this directly in, H, this is the first place it could go. H is before our GK block, leaving our IL block. I'll actually get rid of these and make these a little bit lower. But that definitely just leaves our IL block to live in slots 1 and 2. So in this scenario, we actually have a lot of information. We know the absolute placements of 5 elements, and the only thing we don't know is whether I or L comes first. Alright, so with this understanding of the game, we can go ahead and take a look at the questions. Alright, so question 6 says, which of the following could be the positions from 1st to 7th in which the photographs are hung? Okay, so this is just your typical eliminate the answer choices that don't follow the rules. Okay, so answer choice A. Does it follow all the rules? No. G and K are not together in a block, as required by our first rule here. So eliminate answer choice A. How about answer choice B? Does that follow all of our rules? No. Here, H is the first element, and we know from our rule down here, the second rule, that H cannot be the first element. So we can get rid of it. How about C? C looks pretty good. H is before the GK block. H is not first. I and L are both are both right next to each other in some order, and so those are the rules that we're looking to satisfy. So C looks pretty good. But let's convince ourselves. How about D? Does D follow all the rules? No, it doesn't, because I and L are not next to each other, as required by rule number 3. Get rid of it. How about E? Does E follow all the rules? No, because rule number 5 tells us that F must be either 1 or 7. So here F is 2, so therefore E cannot be right. And so the answer to question 6 is C. How about 7? 7 tells us that if I is immediately before G, so now we have this. I is immediately before G. Which of the following could be true? Well, we have to examine what they're really looking for here. So I is before G. We have a rule for I. What is the rule for I? The rule for I is that it must be right next to L. So if I is next to G and G is on the right side, then what must be here? Well, L must be here. Right? And what do we know about G? Well, we know that G has to be right before K. So that means now we have this super block of 4 things. And then, of course, all of this must come before H. And H cannot be first. Because that part of the rule still applies. Okay, so our final rule looks something like this. H goes to L, I, G, K, all in a big box. Okay, and so they're asking us what could be true. So answer choice A, could G be 4th? Well, if we assign G as 4, then this would be 3, 2, and 1, and H can't be in the first slot. So no, G cannot be 4. How about B? H is 4th. Can H be 4? Well, if H is 4, then this is 5, 6, 7, and then we're out of spots. So no, H cannot be 4. How about answer choice C? I is third. Well, if we assign I as 3, then this is 3, 2, 1. That would make H the first one, and we know it can't be the first one. Get rid of it. How about D? L is second. It's exactly the same answer choice. Because if L is 2, then H is 1, and H can't be 1. And so answer choice E, M is third. Well, why not? Because if we put M here, and we put F here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, M can be third, and all of our rules are satisfied. So answer choice E is the correct answer to question number 7. Question number 8 is interesting. Question number 8 asks us, where each photograph is hung is fully determined if which one of the following is true. Well, looking back at our work that we did up front, we know that scenario number 4 is the one where we're the closest to fully determined. And what that means is that we know where 5 of these go for sure, and the only thing we're unsure of is I and L. So immediately anything that doesn't concern I and L we can get rid of, right? So A, B, and E all talk about elements other than I and L, so we can just get rid of them. You just can't. They're just not relevant. So we're left with C and D. C says irises is second. Well, could irises be second? Yeah. But then answer choice D says lotus is first. And so the question really becomes, which one of these answer choices, C or D, will allow us to differentiate between this possibility and all the other possibilities? And the answer to that is answer choice D. And the reason is that if L is 1, we know for sure we're in case number 4, because in our other 3 scenarios, L cannot be 1. Whereas, is there another possibility where we can place I in 2? And the answer is yes. Up here in scenario 1, if we put I here and L here, and then we can follow our HGK rule, and then we're still not able to tell whether we're in the first possibility or the 4th possibility. So answer choice D is correct here. If L is 1, then we know that we're in this world, and we know where all 7 of the paintings go. And now how about number 9? Number 9 asks us, if Magnolia is second, which of the following cannot be true? Well, looking back at our work here, well, what is the only way that Magnolias can be second? Well, if F is first. Remember that we eliminated the possibility where F was 7th, way back in the beginning of the problem. So let's reproduce our diagram. And now they're asking us which of the following must be true. So just for our reference, we know that we have to put in this IL block, and we need to put in this H to GK block. So answer choice A. Could it be true that H is third? Well, I don't see why not. If H is third, then we can put these 2 groups in here in any order, and it doesn't matter. So A could be true, and therefore it is not what we want, because we're looking for which of the following cannot be true. How about B? Can H be 4th? Well, if H is 4th, then it seems to me like we have a problem. If H is 4th, then how are we going to distribute these blocks? We have a block of 2, but then we're going to have to split up the other block of 2 somehow. And that's not something that we can do. So answer choice B looks like a very good answer. But let's just convince ourselves. Let's see why the other answer choices are incorrect. How about answer choice C? If H is 5. Well, if H is 5, then you have a block of 2 and a block of 2. So then you know that I and L go here, G and K go here, and you're fine. So answer choice C is not going to be correct. How about if we move this away? And now answer choice D asks us, what if G is 4th? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. What if G is 4th? That means K must be 5th. which means can we fit H, I, and L in? Well, of course we can. H has to be before these things, so put H here, and then I and L go in some order in slots 6 and 7. So answer choice D is also possible, and therefore not what we're looking for. I guess this could be true. This could be true. And so how about answer choice E? Gardenias is 6th. Well, hopefully I hope that you guys see that it's basically the same answer choice. If we put GK here, then H can go anywhere here, and then it's obviously possible to put H in one of these 3 slots and still leave room for these other 2. So it definitely could be true, and therefore is not what we're looking for. And so we've convinced ourselves that B is the answer to question number 9. And so that leaves us with question 10. So question 10 is the replacement rule question for this game. So if you don't know how to handle these, go ahead and watch my replacement rule video before you come back to this. Okay, so question 10 asks, which of the following, if substituted for the condition that H must be hung before K, but cannot be the first photograph, would have the same effect in determining the arrangement of the photographs? Okay. So remember back here, when we said that H has to be before K, but H can't be first. Now we no longer get this rule. Now all we know is that G and K are together, I and L together in some order, and that these are our 4 possibilities. And so the way to go about this is first, you see if you can prove it logically somehow. If you can make some kind of logical deduction. I would be very surprised if you could do it off the top of your head. So let's just jump straight to process of elimination. And so the first way, remember, to eliminate an answer choice is that if it works under these rules, but it doesn't work with this new rule, then you can get rid of it. Why? Because this set of rules, this game, this world, must be exactly the same as this game minus this rule plus whatever rule is in the answer choice. So they must be exactly the same. They must allow for exactly the same possibilities. So answer choice A says that if F is 7th, H is 2nd. Well, does that have to be true? No, not really. See here in the 4th possibility, F is 7th, but H is definitely not 2nd. And so we can eliminate answer choice A because the two worlds are not equivalent. And here I'm just going to make a note that the 4th possibility eliminates this choice. How about answer choice B? G is somewhere after hibiscus, and either F or M is first. Okay, well let's take this. This is 2 rules in 1. So it says that G is after H, so H for G, and it says that either F or M is 1. So if we can violate either of these rules, then we're good to go. And here again in the 4th possibility, we see that the idea that either F or M has to be the first element is violated, because here it's either going to be L or I, but it's definitely not going to be F, which is last, or M, which is third. And so once again, the 4th scenario rules out answer choice B as a possibility. How about C? H must be somewhere between the 1st and 6th photographs. Okay, well that looks a little better, right? Because up here, our old rule says that H can't be first, and here in our drawings, we sort of know that there's no real reason that we can't put H in any one of these 6 slots, other than the fact that H is before K. And remember that we don't get this rule anymore. So now all we have is 2 blocks to place and an H, and it seems like it should be possible. So let's hold on to C for now. How about D? Unless H is 2nd, it must be somewhere between M and G. So unless H is 2nd, so if we're in world number 3, this rule doesn't apply. But if H is not 2nd, then it must be between M and G. And again, this one seems like something that probably should be true all the time. You see, like, because in these worlds, well, in this world we know that H is between M and G. In these 2 worlds, M is up here, and then we're looking to replace this rule. So in this world, H is always going to be before G and K, and so it seems like it describes the same set of possibilities. So let's hold on to answer choice D as well. How about answer choice E? K is somewhere after H. So K is after H, which must be somewhere after fence. So H has to be after F. Does this, strictly speaking, have to be true in our old game? Well, no, because here we have two scenarios where F is 7s, so this could just not be a possibility. So again, on scenarios 1 and 4, eliminate answer choice E as a possibility. Okay, so now we're left with answer choice C and D. So C just tells us that H is somewhere between 1 and 6, or in other words, that H can't be 7. Answer choice D tells us that unless H is 2, it must be between M and G. So it must be between M and G. And we know it's in this order because M is always one of the first elements here. Okay. So now we have to proceed to the second way that we eliminate answer choices, is to accept this rule and see if we can violate one of our old rules. Well, yeah, we can. Because just because H is 1 through 6, see, now that we don't have this rule, it doesn't foreclose the possibility that we can do something like this. We can keep G and K together, and we can put H after it, right? Because, like, for example, in the first possibility, in possibility 1, you start with M. Let's put G and K together. Let's put H next. Let's put the I and L block together. And let's end with F, right? This is something that our new rule allows. H is definitely between 1 and 6. But is this something that the old game would have allowed? No, because we know that H must be before G and K at all times. So answer choice C does not completely capture the essence of our previous rule, so therefore it cannot be the answer. Which means that D should be our answer. And if we think about that for a moment, it should be clear why that's the case. Because M here is first, and G's got to be somewhere over here. And if we want to replicate this rule, then we know that H must be before G in this case, which means that no matter where we put this, it's always going to be between M and G. And so affirmatively, we can sort of prove to ourselves that answer choice D is the correct answer.